Connected TV has forever changed the advertising landscape. But to make the most of the platform's measurability, targeting, and creative impact, strategy has to be more than just an afterthought. Hi, everybody. My name is Natalie Zafat, and I'm an Ad Age Studio 30 contributing editor. Today, I am joined by Mountain's Director of Product Innovation, Oliver Embry, to talk a little bit more about what it's like to build a results-oriented strategy, combining media and creative, and what are those innovative solutions that really help you drive and measure better performance. Welcome, Oliver.
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks for having me, and great to be here.
I want to start out by talking a little bit about the old days. It used to take 6 to 9 months to get an ad on TV between networking approvals and the programming matrix and production in general. Now we can get an ad on TV in 24 hours. 5 years ago, that seemed like a pipe dream and certainly financially unfeasible for linear. I wonder if you could talk to us a little bit about how CTV has really changed the mindset for those large companies that used to move very slowly and now kind of have that always on mentality.
Yeah, of course. Knowing that the audience that mostly would be here today is performance marketing and marketing audience, I thought about this a little bit and put my MBA sort of marketing hat back on and started to think about sort of the 4 C's, I say, of CTV. Sort of starting with the customer. A long time ago when you were advertising on linear television, you're casting a wide net in terms of who you're looking to engage and how you're looking to do so across a bunch of different networks and audiences. Our platform is now audience first, where we're actually engaging customers based off of whether they opt into the audiences that our clients have segmented out. And then sort of the second piece of that is channels. We're not necessarily going back to that. We're not necessarily advertising directly on channels. We're taking this audience first approach to meet our customers where they are, on the networks and with the intent that matters to them. And then that third C being creative. The creative process has absolutely changed in terms of the time to market and the time to be able to read and react to sort of micro and macro trends, whether it's in your industry or across different industries, to upload new creative within a 24-hour period and being able to nimbly add that to the new networks and new content and campaigns that you're looking to run. And the last being cost. Cost has gone way down. Cost has gone way down in terms of running campaigns, in terms of reaching your audiences at a higher yield, and then also on a production cost as well. And there's some pretty exciting evolutions on the Mountain side that we'll get into in a little bit that even add and enhance that in a more meaningful way. So the 4 C's of CTV, if I'm going to leave you all with anything, it'll be that. And we can come back for a 2.0 class on that.
I like it. I like the MBA hat. Thank you. I hear you talking about how getting sort of large corporations on board with CTV has worked, but I wonder if we can shift for a moment to those small businesses. How has CTV really helped the way that small business owners really look at advertising?
Yeah, of course. Going back to the enterprise side for a little bit, the way I see it is that CTV has allowed them to be always on and create sort of an always on approach. The notion of always on with TV 5 years ago sounds really expensive. And similarly on the SMB side, just being on TV sounded expensive because the yield that you would have in terms of reaching your audience, whether it's quite geo-segmented or quite sort of interest segmented, just seemed expensive. If you were an outdoor retailer that had a very strong footprint in the Rocky Mountains, or if you were a local fishing company or a apparel company, that those opportunities weren't possible. So CTV has sort of lowered the barrier to entry because it's made targeting across the country more possible. And so SMBs and even smaller businesses can be on, and even going back to the enterprise side, if we're able to run campaigns on a more frequent basis, we can actually optimize them so it actually makes it cheaper to be always on and to be more consistent with your campaigns that you're running.
I heard you mention the word nimbleness earlier, and I want to dive into that for a moment. I wonder if you can share a case study about a brand who perhaps was able to act upon the nimbleness that CTV offers. What was their experience? What was the result? If you can, give us walk us through how that works.
Yeah, of course. I'll actually give a case study that's near and dear to me. They were actually before I joined Mountain, they were a former client of mine called Rumple, which is an outdoor blanket, sustainable blanket company that's sort of taken the North Face or Patagonia puffer materials and turned them into blankets. They've seen incredible growth throughout sort of the COVID and social distancing period, as camping has become and outdoor sports have become such a big space. They were looking at a way in which they had really strong performance in terms of driving traffic from social and paid social channels, especially Instagram, to their direct-to-consumer platform, rumple.com. And so they were looking at another performance channel and a way in which they could increase their audience and also increase their sales through another performance channel. And so actually, put them in touch with our sales team and then our CS team in terms of how we could look at and what their sort of approach is. They want to be the everywhere blanket. And so the everywhere blanket, that you could use this blanket on a camping trip, you could use this blanket at home, you could use this blanket at a sporting event. And so we use that approach to actually think about all the audiences that may encompass anywhere you might want to use one of their products, across camping enthusiasts or sports fans or beach lovers, you name it. And we actually, we ran a campaign with them over the spring, and we're able to actually reach a 60% higher ROAS than their target across other channels. And what's even more exciting is that, I think going back to what I mentioned about wanting to be always on, they actually became one of our first casts, so creative description clients, that if you spend a certain threshold on our platform, you actually get free creative built into that. And so that allows them, and as I mentioned, sort of that nimbleness of it. We were nimble with them to start to actually use creative from different channels to upload that and get a campaign running in about 2 to 3 weeks. And then we've continued to allow them to be nimble because of this cast service that we have, to react to moments and also be able to pivot and adjust creative based on what's succeeding and what's not in the marketplace, to allow that sort of nimbleness to be a real advantage, and use TV as sort of more of a lower funnel exercise rather than upper funnel medium that it might have been, as we talked about, sort of pre-CTV and sort of the linear space.
I want to get back to why that is in just a moment. But before I do, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about MNTN Labs. I think it's a recent launch from Mountain, and based on your description, it provides industry-leading research, knowledge-sharing programs. I wonder if you could give us a little peek behind the curtain and explain what Mountain's vision is for labs and what we can expect.
Yeah, of course. So, the sort of North Star and vision for MNTN Labs is we want to be closer to our customers so that they can be closer to theirs. And it sort of boils down to three pillars around what MNTN Labs stand for. So product innovation, and that's sort of where my experience and my expertise comes from. Really building meaningful products and putting on the hat and having empathy. My background, I used to work at Adidas, and so have empathy for what a enterprise client might want to see in our product to what would Rumple, and more of a high growth D2C brand want to see in our product. So using that empathy to try to drive our innovation, and with Cass and what I just mentioned being sort of the first coming out of that, and over the next sort of 6 to 9 months, be really excited, especially as we get to the back to school and holiday phase. We're coming out with some highly differentiated products that we think will really allow our customers to stay connected and closer to their customers. And then the second pillar being Mountain Research. And we've over the past, and you've probably seen that with some pieces in partnership with Ad Age, but we've really sort of started to draft and define ourselves as subject matter experts within the connected TV space, and really leaning into like how we can help customers across the industry really understand what these trends mean and how they're transpiring, and how sort of our platform and then similar platforms can be a value add to marketers across the globe. And then the third pillar being Mountain University. So it's sort of upskilling sort of endeavor with our current partners, so onboarded partners, with allowing them to be sort of smarter to kind of learn some of these trends and really be hands-on with our education around that. And over the next sort of 12 to 18 months, we're looking at sort of potentially rolling out some PhD programs, as I like to call them as well, that will be even more hands-on with some of our partners who are really looking to solve some unique pain points that they have within their company and across their industry. but really excited about what Mountain Labs is going to be able to do for our customers and enable them to unlock some compelling opportunities with their customers as well.
Yeah, it's exciting. And I think it's also really clear that with initiatives like Mountain Labs, you are really thinking about TV differently. I've heard you liken TV to sort of more of a social media or search function rather than thinking about it, in a traditional sense. And I also know you mentioned a few moments ago that you don't think TV should be considered exclusively that sort of upper funnel medium anymore, but more of a lower funnel exercise. Can you explain why?
Yeah, of course. So, our Mountain sort of performance platform has enabled us to unlock the ability for brands to measure their campaigns like they would on Google and on social and on other performance channels. And that, they're setting a desired KPI and sort of a benchmark against that KPI, and then we're actually optimizing a spend against that. So instead of using television as a way to kind of expose customers to the brand, we're actually being able to kind of use television as a way to not only expose maybe on a prospecting side, but also re-engage on a retargeting side, but also then continue to follow along that journey. If they view through one of our CTV ads, we can see within a desired window, with 7 days, 14 days, you name it, depending on your desired conversion window, whether or not someone actually visited and converted based upon the action. So really excited to kind of take the best of both in terms of, as you talked about a little bit, sort of merging media and creative. TV is such a powerful medium. We like to say, people are choosing to sit down to watch TV, and so there's a captive in that medium and sort of an amazing ball of clay in terms of what the medium offers, and then being able to match that with sort of our performance capabilities really allows it to, continue to be that high value, sort of highly visible medium, but at the same time put some sort of measurement towards that, similar to what you see with some of your performance platforms that are a little bit more typically down the funnel than TV would have been 5 to 7 years ago.
Yeah, Oliver, another comment you made that sort of struck me. I think this was the last time we spoke. You said that CTV is sort of allowing brands to be more purposeful and to build more purpose sort of first campaigns. And I wonder if that's simply kind of a function of the malleability of the platform, or kind of going back to that nimbleness. Is that what's sort of enabling an advertiser to be a little more thoughtful?
Of course. I'll kind of try to bring it full circle back to the 4 Cs of CTV. I think if you're able to, strategically plan and sort of identify the ways in which you're looking to engage your customers, potentially an outline budget, what some of the creative might look like, if sort of campaigns start to evolve, if certain geo segments that you're targeting start to perform better, if certain elements of your creative are working, we can nimbly read and react to that in a meaningful way. So I think as important as ever it is to have those strategic plans and to kind of develop that 4 Cs of CTV plan, because it actually allows you to read and react to the moments that matter to you and matter to your customers, to drive greater performance for your campaigns.
I think we have time for one more 60-second response. I certainly want the answer to this question. I think measurement and proving ROI is at the very top of the list for attendees here at TV Pivot today. Whether you're a traditional retailer, right, who wants sales, or a B2B retailer who wants signups, or even a small business owner who perhaps wants to reach more diverse audiences, I wonder if you can leave us with a afterthought about, how is Mountain really helping brands measure against the KPI of their choice?
Yeah, of course, using our self-service platform, that's one of the primary questions you come to when you're signing a platform. Like, what are you, sort of where are your customers? Who are the customers you're targeting? But what are you looking to do? How are you looking to engage them? So even from the start, that's sort of going back to our funnel analogy. That's sort of the top of the funnel in terms of our approach. And so really allowing our customers to be in control and sort of using that as sort of a primary focus. And so they can come in, and if you're a B2B marketer and we're really sort of building out our B2B campaigns, we know that you're not necessarily looking for sales. You might be looking for signups and demos. And we've created a platform where it allows you to sort of design campaigns, design creative, design audiences based off of the KPI of your choice, and are looking into have some unique advancements in that coming along later this year that we're excited to actually build upon that, because we recognize that a B2B brand is quite different from a D2C e-commerce brand, and recognize that they'd want to use our platforms in different ways for different results.
Well, we're excited to see what you come out with and really enjoyed this time. Thank you so much, Oliver, for joining. And I'm going to kick it back now to Janine.